there. Let's have a little talk this morning. And people are trying to like convince themselves this is a good thing. This is bringing about so-called peace. I had two bosses. My first that I'm going to speak about, well, I had lots of bosses, but two prominent ones that play a pivotal role right now in our role in this day and age history. But it goes way back. I mean, this goes back to literally 349 AD and the Knights of Nicaea, and they kicked all the women and banished them from having any influence in spirituality, which we're more in tune than any man will ever be. Like our period, our cycle, our menstrual cycle, we revolve off the moon cycles, which is God's calendar. And it's all been rewritten. Our times are all jacked up. Biblically speaking, they're trying to implement according to their scripted program, whatever we want, whatever. Okay, I know you all. I know you get what I'm saying. So meanwhile, while this is going on, we have already over in Europe, they're already implementing what will be basically biohacking. Everything that we emit will be recorded. Who we think is going to actually get rid of that, it's actually been implementing that since way before 2015. So when you bring out all these predictions and preachers, false prophets, they were placed there eons ago to lay out a pre-programmed thinking of what's to come, that it's a biblical thing to come. I don't trust any man, not one. So that's my opinion, okay? That's my opinion. Let's get back to, let's go back to 2015. Let's talk about a letter that I was able to come across. Okay? And then I find it. Okay? It's a little bit of a different type of searching when I search, because it just kind of comes to me and then I go there. And 2015, I found that a WEF newsletter was basically stating how they will go about consolidating nation states over trade and tariffs. And those that don't join in these nation states, which will be 7 in like continents of the kings that rule each one, but they'll all be consolidated, which started, how long ago did we do Canada, America, Mexico basically as one for trade. Then we have here presently the joking around that Canada would become the 51st state. Well, basically, yes, because if they didn't go along with the trade agreements and what's set with the WEF and the UN and who knows, right? All of those, what was to come, what is happening now, and what we're seeing, and seizing of banking accounts and that type of thing, if you were to stand up against authority when it came to certain things that you knew in your heart was like, what's going on? Like, we've worked for how many, almost 100 years looking for a cancer cure, but yet within months, some novelty virus comes out and all of a sudden it's just stocked and ready to go in the billions, and it's a cure and it's out worldwide on the realm and everybody's supposed to get it. And if you didn't comply, they were locking you in your homes, they were freezing your bank accounts, they were shutting you off from your social media. Okay, all good. I saw that in 2015. So keep it in the back of my mind. So that comes into play. And then we've got this prophet prophecy type person that kind of like slipped off the map somehow after laying down times and seasons of when things would happen. Programming again. So that's how I see that. And under this program, we understand there's called a project looking glass, where they're able to calculate out through the quantum computer what will happen. So they were able to map that out. And then of course we have your central casting. So we have this person comes out and it's the big preacher, and it can give you the layout of what's going to happen. And then you also have TV stars that lay the agenda, whether it be the reality TV programs programming you to think that's society and the rich and the famous type of thing, leaning into it's an entrepreneur type thing. We're just trying to help. Now, 2015, it's known that a person that is our state representative for the states overseas was vetted by a certain country that we throw all our supplies, we throw all our money into, we back everything over our own. People are on the streets because of what was implemented, and I'll get to that. But we're doing all that over our own at this very moment. All of our interest is somewhere else, not here. That I was also able to pull up what's called the new Gramscian hegemonic order, which in order to get that about, military is the only way. So you probably want to look into that. And what it is it's combining all the nation states and consolidating them into basically kingdoms. And so they will run the empires throughout on a specific system, one world religion, one world currency. That's already been started and implemented. Like I said, they put the ball in motion. I mean, we're talking years and 100-something years ago, but they really started kicking it in when they took down the two sister towers together, and then put the fear of God into everybody, and everybody joined up for the military. Well, their first mission, and when they went over to Iraq, was to get into the Temple of Gilgamesh that they had just found and were excavating by the German scientists. So our own went in there, kicked them out, and basically guarded it off and took the DNA and whatever artifacts and whatever, and brought them into the underground. And they're able to do whatever they want with that DNA, right? So we can create humans, flesh, organs, you name it. They have the technology to take that and create whatever they want from it. What I see is super soldiers, and those super soldiers would probably be about 22 years of age now from 2003, in extracting the DNA from that body of the men of renown. Okay, the big and mighty men of renown that built all these megalithic type structures with the spires and grabbing from the ether, the free energy, the canal systems of keeping the water flowing so that it would create the conductivity to create this free energy, trolleys, everything on electric. Basically, that's how they did it. Not wind electric vines, none of that. We had it all. So we're in complete decline. We're in complete decline as far as our capabilities, or not really our capabilities. There's been plenty that have come up with it, and they've been taken off the map when it came to how you can get around without having to utilize gas, oil, and all those things. You can just literally use anything from water and whatever, and it can start, and you can travel, right? They took away the Zeppelins, which was like a luxury, huge, cotillion type ballroom with restaurants, and then they would land at the top of these huge buildings, park it, and then they would go down those elevators into these huge tall high rises all over the realm, not just here, not in New York, whatever. They took those Zeppelins out because they're not going to make those in power money. About the dollar bill and In God We Trust and the money, and who got a goat or something sent to them with dollar bills all over it with their face right on it in place of George Washington, and on the top it says In God We Trust, but it was replaced in We Trust. Like, ego, anybody? Squeak the wheel? Who gave that? We're not supposed to idolize. We're coming out of the old. We're going into the new. It's not about idolizing the money. But our top dude that was placed there, that's all he's about. His whole family. They're all plastic looking fake robot models hooked up with these old looking dudes, and if they didn't have money, those chicks wouldn't be with them. That's fact. Who would ever want to be with somebody that has money, but you have to talk yourself into going to bed at night, or be on some big pharma drugs to like get there so that you're okay, or to produce a seed offspring because you're okay, because you're getting the Botox, you're getting whatever, you get all those perks, and then you're probably doing your massage guy while the other one, he literally works all day and isn't a family man, like not in the picture. It's just, I mean, what is it? You know, the beautiful model sellouts. Now, I worked for that character. They're going to crash our economy. They're going to crash it because that's the end goal, is to get us all onto the digital system. And for some reason, these people are all behind it, like holding parades for it, basically. And wanting their own demise, like wanting that control system on them. What they say, where they can go. Who in their right mind would think BBB, Build Back Better, has any difference to what big, beautiful budget? I don't even know what they did some word magic on you and y'all bought it, which is crazy to me that you literally bought it and you think it's different from a smart city to a 15-minute convenient city. It's bullshit. Allowed in, and I'm going to tell you something real quick. I'm going to give this to y'all. You do your homework, because this is how I found it. Back, I want to say it was right after the 100,000 were flown over here, contractors that we trained for over 20 plus years from AFI. We brought them all over here, okay? And then soon after that, there was a whole big whatever, we left equipment there. That's all to fight the war. That was all done by design. So anybody talking themselves into thinking this isn't all planned out, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool. Or you don't want to speak up because you think you're going to stick out. Or you're going to get your channel taken down. Or you're not going to ride the propaganda machine on the other side. There's two propaganda machines. No, they're all one. But they've brought you in. And I want to bring up another thing. Supposedly somebody just bought and controls the TikTok, and they're also wanting to get with L so that they could get that in control, and so that anything said or whatever could be squashed down, snuffed out, because they can't allow you to think for your own, for one, and they can't allow you to know what's actually really going on. They can't, because then that just blows the top off of it, and everybody else is like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this, I didn't vote for this. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But you did. But no, you didn't. Make any sense yet? I didn't vote, I volunteered and let them pay me. How's that? Because it really doesn't. And they're going to go on about the 2020, and that was all a big setup thing just to formulate what we're seeing today. 2015, Rubio was vetted by Oracle, which is basically, it backs and is with the main characters that are in role play right now. So that was done in 2015. So he's in position. The other guy brought in was Cash Patel-Zal. He basically his sponsor is the King Solomon guy over in Saudi Arabia. So he comes in the picture with that. So you got your pawns in place on your chessboard. Then you've got 2016, the big debacle about who's supposed to be in, and it, big distraction stuff, right? This was all started way before. Then you have, by 2018, you need to go watch it, each and every one of you, so-called influencers, truthers, broadcasters, all that stuff, need to go watch 2018 WEF speech by DJD, introduced by Klaus Schwab, and goes on about Xi in China and their surveillance system they have, and just blubbers over how awesome it is to have that control over the people. It's just so awesome to control people. You don't get it, right? So anyways, he blubbers over that. Meanwhile, before he even starts, he says, oh yeah, the night before, I met Apple Cook, the CEO for Apple. We had dinner, and 15 other high-tech ranking guys, and now are my best friends. Well, that's your Microsoft, that's your Google, that's your Facebook, that's all those guys. They've been working with them since 2018. So that whole shutdown and losing your channels and all that was coordinated. That was to piss you off. That was to get you to sway to one side and get you there, and I'll get your voice, whatever. I lost 2 channels. I don't give a shit. I don't make money off of it. I don't care to make money off of it. Maybe later. I'm thinking about going live for my birthday, July 31st. I might do my first live and really celebrate. In celebration of kind of like knowing that you know, but you're not a part of it. You're not in it, but you see every bit of it. Like, I'm so ready to party on my birthday, this coming party. Watch the speech from 2018 WEF by DJT, introduced by Klaus Schwab, as he goes on and just loves the control system that China has, their justice system, where you can't speak you don't get any kind of trial. It's just, you're out, brother. So, however, that's how they're going to handle us in the future, and especially if you speak out, for just having a voice. Don't do anything physically wrong or nothing. Just my free speech, my First Amendment. Yeah, you won't be able to do that. The free flow, that's out the door. If you can listen and understand what I'm saying, and I did this and found it, here comes this, looked like a meme. It was white, had a blue circle in the middle, and it looked like an arrow or a plane or a comet or something going right into the middle of the blue circle. And around that, 4 corners of it, in Roman numeral, I took the 4 that were there were 4. I took each one of those put it into the Google with a space. First I went and figured out what it meant. Okay, so I put in these this way in Roman numerals. I figured out that today, this was in 2021 that I did it. So you want to put in 1878 not a dash, just a space. 1878, 1923, 1973, and then 2023. When I did that and I pushed go, came a contract. And this contract, it was over 300 pages. This is like 2021. From those, I was told, take those Roman numerals and put them in, figure them out, which I did, figured out the dates. And I put them in and I hit go, and out, just like I hit some quantum code computer, and it just dropped this military contract of bringing millions of people in here, cells, so that they can be distributed like throughout our country, so that at the given time they will get a cell phone call to activate. We're there. This is 2025, so we're there. And of however I was reading that, I don't even want to get into details. It got really gory, it got really bad. It is what it is, and I read it. So now they make it out as if it was done under the guise of something else. They're all the same. They're all the same. That's the difference of separating yourself from the black and the white. It's not all black and white. It's not. It's all one. For control. That's all it is. Control issues. They got serious control issues. They can never have my spirit or my soul, basically. They'll never get it. But anyways, or my free thinking, or the way, if I want to speak, if I got to go down and out because of the way I speak or think, that's on them. What am I going to do? I have an opinion. I feel the way I feel. Can't change it. I never will. Hey, that rhymed. Anyways, literally, we're going to take a hit. And we're supposed to be okay with it, because we're America first, right? So anyways, back to Miriam and the little speech that we just had. She used to be my boss, her husband. Supposedly worth over 60 billion. Well, anyways, they were my boss in Las Vegas at the Venetian Palazzo. And they took and bought the Review Journal, that is the newspaper there, their propaganda machine in Vegas. Since I was a kid, I was born and raised there. So they bought that and control it. Meanwhile, over in the other sector, they've owned that newspaper forever. The propaganda machine of that country. Well, who just came up by Yahoo telling us that they need to buy TikTok and get with L and get X and make sure that is settled, because you can't think outside the box. You can't. You think outside the box, you're gonna get the box. You're gonna go in the box. People are crazy, man. Egocentric mother moles. So catch up. 2018, go listen to the speech, please. They've got charts and all with like colors. King Solomon's there, who's Kash Patel's mentor, okay? He was sent over here to set it up. Anyways, Dan the man, the media man for DJT, he's just been put in order for India to hire all government for the structure. He's over there as the ambassador, so he was just put into place as well. Now, I know it sounds really convoluted. Those with half of a can kind of probably get the drift and the code speaking. Like, come, where are we? What the are we in? What are we in? Dystopia, crazy world. And I worked for these two people. I wonder how much my paychecks will be worth. They're like paper paychecks from DJT back in '87. I worked for 2 years. I wonder how much those will be worth once he's out of his presidential run. As much as gold, because they want us to get on the whole, get your gold, get your silver, and all that. You've depleted the population. They can't invest their gold and silver. That's only going to it's only going to help the millionaires and the billionaires that have money to invest. The government of the United States, the corporation, has bought up in the AI tech. So if we're controlling like the chips and the AI distribution, the making and all that stuff that's like going on, they can manipulate the market like they've always done. They might here in the future, right, be getting rid of like the federal tax or the federal agency or a bunch of fed this and that. Well, that's only because the computer's going to be able to control, and you won't need as many people heads to do that type of thing. It can do it faster and whatever. The United States corporation actually invested in all of these companies and these new tech buddies that he got in 2018, the night before the WF speech, and he said Apple cooked, and we had dinner, and now they're his new best friends. But then we all lost channels in 2020, 2021 with his new best friends. But he signed an EO in October 2019 to put up 5G towers during the lockdown, which conveniently, once the next guy came in, which they tried to act like it was stolen, he still kept up all the EOs that would implement the lockdown so that the 5G towers could go up. Those 5G towers aren't for better communication, folks. So if you're going to the store and you're buying a phone for an upsale because it's 5G, you're being ripped off. I pay $40 a month for my phone. I get all the, what do you call that, whistles and whatever. I get it on this. I don't need extra bullshit. I don't download a bunch of apps or anything. I think I have my bank on here because I have to. I got to deal with it, right?
ありがとう。